Welcome to the NAM podcast, where we bring you the voices that drive the mortgage industry. Join dynamic hosts Ginger Bell and Matt Shields as they dive into bold conversations with top experts, industry leaders, and change makers from across the country. From insider insights to game-changing trends, this is your front row seat to what's happening right now in the world of home finance.
Well, hey there. Welcome to another episode of the NAM podcast. My name's Ginger Bell. I have my co-host with me, Mr. Matt Shields. How are you today, Matt?
I'm doing good, Ginger. Thank you for the introduction. And we're very excited. We have a special guest here today, CEO and founder of Higher Culture VA. We have Kyle Draper here. Thanks for coming, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. Honored to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here. And so, if you're listening to this podcast, and it is before October 17th, 18th, and 19th, we want to share an opportunity for you to be able to see Kyle live and on stage. And I know,
Woo.
Kyle, talk a little bit about your background, because I know you have been on stage for a long time, but you have a background coming from being a youth pastor.
Yes.
And transitioned over into
wild
speaking for realtors and now mortgage. Yep. So tell me a little bit about what that transition looked like.
Yeah, Ginger, I started as a youth pastor, started doing that in my early 20s and really thought I would do that my whole life, and then felt called into the business world. And so then I got into roofing, and it was awful. I don't know how that is where I ended up. But it was through roofing that I started just playing around with Facebook Live back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I was the roofer that was doing selfies from the tops of houses.
Nice.
Wow. And it was through all of that when a really big hailstorm came through, I got over 100 inbound leads in 24 hours. Wow. From people saying, I saw your video, so-and-so sent me your video. And I went, oh my gosh, there's something here with this video thing. And once I realized, man, I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. Like, God didn't build my body to be climbing on roofs. And so I said, man, can we do something on the ground, please?
Right.
And so I connected with a lot of realtors through roofing. And so I started a company building websites for realtors. And then I started training realtors on how to use social media, how to organically stay top of mind to your people. And one thing led to the next. And lenders are sponsoring my classes for realtors. And then they're saying, man, why aren't you teaching us? We need to know all the same stuff that you're teaching these realtors. And that moved me over into the mortgage world. And I'm a serial entrepreneur. And so along that journey, I've started multiple companies. Most of them have not gone well. Fortunately, the last couple are going well. And I love the opportunity that I get to show up in Vegas with you guys and teach people the power of one-to-one video. Because we've gotten so caught up in video is social media. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not into the whole social media thing, then you're also not into the video thing. Mm-hmm. And what I've found and what works for me is that video is the single greatest way to communicate. It's why the three of us are on video right now and not on a speakerphone. Just talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, gosh, we're going to have so much fun in Vegas, and people are going to learn so much. And I can tell you more if anybody wanted to know more, or we can leave it as a teaser.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, and I think we've been talking obviously video for many, many years, and people know that. Right. I don't think it's an unknown. I think the biggest challenge is, and it's funny because right before I got on this call, I had someone call me who does some coaching for another organization for regional branch managers, and talking about how can they get their LOs to do more video.
Yeah.
And make it simple and make it, and I think that's one of the challenges, because, for our community, obviously a lot of them broker owners. So just like you, serial entrepreneur, you have that. But as an entrepreneur, fitting that into your time is hard.
Right.
So what, I mean, what do you recommend? How can somebody say, okay, Kyle tells me we need to be on video. I know I need to be on video. I have a phone that has a video
That's it.
camera on it.
Yeah.
It's not like you need to go out and buy a nice, Sony
No.
camera or anything like that, right?
Yeah, you mean like the Sony that I have sitting
Yeah.
on my desk that I haven't used in 2
Yeah.
years.
Well,
Yep,
and it's
that's right.
funny because I have some very nice video equipment, which we are going to be bringing to NAM National, so we'll have to get you on video there. But it doesn't have to be complicated. I think that's the first thing, right? Don't overthink it.
Yeah, well, and so to stay true to the example you just gave, right? You had a leader ask you, how do I get my people to do more video?
Right.
What I've found in all my travels is there's not enough leaders leading the way in this realm.
Yeah.
And so I run into leaders all the time that are like, I'm so glad you're here. My people need you so bad. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's great. How are you doing on video? Well, I don't really do video. It's not really my thing. Well, nobody's ever going to do anything that the leader themselves doesn't believe in and is not leading the way in. And so I think from a leadership perspective, that's number one is, are you doing it from the top down? But for the individual, my favorite way to get people comfortable with video and to realize how easy it is to practice one-to-one video. Like forget about, but what about going viral? And what about growing a following? And what about, that's where all this fear and animosity and confusion and frustration, all those negative things show up in the world of the internet.
Right.
But if I say, hey, for 30 days, just send videos to your spouse. And this is what I did 12 years ago. I told my wife, I said, honey, every time you text me for 30 days, I'm going to respond by video because I just need to practice.
Yeah.
Guys, I sent my wife almost 140 videos in 30 days.
Cool.
Wow.
There was no fear because I was only sending it to the person who's seen me without my clothes on, right? Like, so I wasn't concerned with what I look like, what I sound like.
Right.
And I didn't realize until the end of it, oh my gosh, I'm so much more confident at this because I did more videos in 30 days than most people have done in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so that comfort showed up. And now all of a sudden video on the internet got easier because I'd actually put in the work. And so to me, that's the easiest thing somebody can do. And then all I coach people to do is like, go to CapCut, I use an app called Captions. And it automatically adds captions for me. And then boom, I'm posting the video. I'm not overthinking an edit. I'm not overthinking sound. Just do it. And it's unbelievable the response that they all get from people.
Well, it's just like a muscle. It's like working out. You
100%.
did 140 videos. So by the time you got done with that, you were a pro at it.
Yep.
For those new people getting started into video and they're kind of that perfectionist mindset and it has to be perfect, what's your biggest tip to somebody who has that perfection reluctancy?
So, gosh, Matt, it's a great question. There's a couple different ways to go about it. My favorite way is to just film yourself in action. So I feel like as a broker community, I'm seeing more brokers like get out into real estate offices and train and educate, lead with education.
Yeah.
And so one of my favorite things to do is if I'm going to go teach a class locally, I'll pay a videographer a couple $100 to show up, mic me up, and then film my class because I'm going to be dressed to my best. I'm in my zone. I'm not freaking out because I'm like, do I have to look right into the lens or what am I supposed to? And so if they'll just film themselves in their environment, that's a good fix for that perfectionist.
Yeah.
The other fix, and this isn't an easy fix, but it's get over yourself. Like none of us like perfect people.
Yeah.
Right? We hate it.
Yeah.
For most of us, we connect at our greatest point of pain more so than at the mountaintop of our greatest experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will purposely leave misspoken words in my videos because I want people to see me struggle because struggle is relatable versus, man, every time I see Kyle, he does it all perfectly. He's flawless. He never says And so they've got to realize that their attempt to be perfect is actually disconnecting them from people. And you have to just practice that thought process. And for the perfectionist, it's really hard. This is a hard medium to get into.
You just dropped a couple bombs of knowledge right there. Those are some gems right there.
Well, and I think too, Matt does a monthly call for the NAM Young Professional Group.
Yeah.
And so obviously a lot of those on that call are new to the industry.
Sure.
And so, for so many, it's knowing, okay, there's so much to talk about.
Right.
Where do you start? And they don't necessarily know a lot. So it's like that fear of not knowing a lot. And then also going into, okay, the fear of perfection and all those other things. So for someone brand new getting into the industry, what should they be talking about?
So it's one main thing. But before I say that main thing, I want to speak to the young professional right now. You know more than the average person living in our country right now about housing.
Yep.
Right. You may not know more than the people that work alongside you in your office that are a part of your company, but you know more than the average consumer.
Right.
And one of the truths that I live by that I was given years ago is, as long as you know 1% more than the people you're in front of, you always have something of value to give them. And so it's not about, well, I've got to go span this knowledge gap before I do anything. It's about realizing, like, you already know enough now. And so just go. And then, Ginger, my two favorite questions that I coach people on for constant video content is, one, what do you get asked the most about mortgage?
Perfect.
And you could change out mortgage and put finance, right? But what do I get asked the most about this industry? If you're brand new, there's this cool thing called ChatGPT, and I can go in there and I can say, I'm a brand new mortgage broker. What are the top 50 questions that the consumer searches about mortgages on the internet? And it'll give you the list. A new person could come to you, Matt, and literally go, hey, what are the top 20 questions you get asked the most about mortgage? They can go adopt those 20 questions, and they should be recording videos of all of those questions. The second question I love is, what are you surprised that people don't already know? Because y'all get asked questions all the time. You give an answer, and then that person goes, whoa, Matt, I know I should know what that is, but what is that again? And you should leave that conversation going, oh my gosh, I can't believe they didn't know what earnest money was. If they don't know what earnest money is, other people don't know what earnest money is. And so I'm going to go make a video that's simple. What is earnest money? Wow. I know it's not rocket science, but this is where people are.
Yeah.
And it's silly questions like that are holding them back from making a decision. And so if mortgage brokers would just take those two questions and then leave their ego at the door, they would never run out of videos that they could be doing.
Yeah. And getting into the basics is important. I remember I was speaking at a conference, I think it was for Annie Mac, several years ago, and they had one of their new young professionals there who was doing a lot on TikTok. And she had a video that had gone viral.
Yeah.
And it was nothing more than, she honestly was putting her makeup on. And she'd been doing video for a little bit on TikTok, but it was, okay, here's the 3 things you need to do in order to buy a house this year. Number 1, don't quit your job.
Yes, good.
Number 2, you need to, make sure your credit score is, intact. And then number 3 is, if you're going to buy a house for, this amount of money, this is how much you're going to need for a down payment. So if you start saving this much now, and she kind of backed into it a little bit, and that thing went viral.
Yeah.
And it was so basic, and it was nothing fancy. It was honestly just, she was doing nothing more than putting her makeup on.
That is the beauty and the frustration of the internet.
Right.
Is like what I love about the internet is we truly live in a world where I could do a video today and Oprah could see it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now she knows about my books, and she puts one of my books in Oprah's favorite things, and I am an overnight success. Like, that's a real possibility now in the world we live in.
Right.
But the flip side of that is, if we live in that world with the expectation of that,
Right.
then every video that I do that gets 34 views, I'm ready to go quit and crawl under my bed, because now I'm a huge loser that doesn't have any friends.
Yeah, it's the consistency. I mean, that's
100%.
the thing. It's 100%. So Kyle Seagraves, who has probably one of the most followed YouTube channels,
Yeah.
When the House You Love. And when Kyle started, and his first video, he honestly just walked around his neighborhood. Matt, he's in Ohio. He's in Dayton.
Okay.
And his dad had bought a Remax and with a model mortgage franchise, which Remax had. He had a Remax, and Kyle was brand new. He knew nothing about the industry, and so I told him years ago, start a YouTube channel, talk about mortgage, whatever. And he did. And his first video, he walked around the neighborhood, Kyle, because he was too embarrassed to do a video in front of his roommates. He didn't want to hear them.
Yeah.
And so, it took him a year to get 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
And today, I think he has 194,000
Wow.
followers.
Wow.
But here's the key: consistency.
Yeah.
It is consistency. And if there's anything, no matter what you're doing, whether it's video, whether it's making phone calls, whether it's, sending emails, prospecting, the consistency, I think, is the key. And so
Absolutely.
What's the number one thing that someone can do to have that consistency, Kyle?
I'm a big fan of, actually, I'm a big fan of it, but I don't do it myself because it's not in the way I do video, but it's batch recording.
Right.
Like, most people don't feel good about it every day. I've done it long enough to where I can do video like that all the time. But for most people, it's telling them, like, pick a 30-minute window,
right?
Get dressed nice, bring 4 new shirts, and then pick 10 videos that are going to be 90 seconds each, that in a 30-minute window, you can crank out 10 videos. And then now you're probably good for the entire month.
I love it.
And then pick another 30-minute where that is the way to keep people the most consistent, is so that on your bad days, when you don't want to record something, you've got a library of videos to fall back on. And it just takes the pressure away of, like, oh no, I got to post a video tomorrow. What am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? Do it all at once, so that you let go of the guessing part.
I love it. Thank you.
The tip you had of taking multiple shirts to wear is such a good one, because the first time I did like pre-batch videos, I wore the same shirt. So I think everybody thought for a couple of weeks I wore the same thing. So that was such a good tip of taking a little change of clothes as you're doing the batch.
That's it.
Yeah.
And usually I wear black t-shirts almost every day. So y'all have caught me on my fancy day. And so I just change hats.
Yeah. There you go.
And then you assume it's a different day.
Yeah. Or if you have a company logo shirt, then, and you just have this is my video shirt. When I'm going to do video, this is what I'm going to wear. And that's it. So lots of ways around it. And you know what, here's the thing, and girls probably worry about it more than guys do. Nobody really pays attention to what you're wearing.
No.
It's a good point.
Well, and there's so much data now that we watch video like as we're doing other things. So we really probably listen to the video even more so than we stare at it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you could probably do some testing where it's like, you look crazy and people may not even notice because they're just listening to you as they do their day.
Yeah.
And so it's just all these little things that we overthink. No one else ever thinks about.
Yeah. So I want to shift gears a little bit, because you started an amazing series a couple years ago, and it started with your book.
Yeah.
That you did, which is Rethink Everything You Know About Social Media. But you've taken and expanded that now to a Rethink series.
Yes.
And it's so cool because it's kind of like the whole, Something for Dummies series, but it's Rethink. So tell me about that, and tell me about some of the projects you're working on right now.
Yeah. Well, Ginger, thank you for recently becoming like a Yoda to me, because you've done books for so long and so well. I'm learning so much from you. It's been a weird thing. I never set out to write a book, and I wrote a book 2.5 years ago in the middle of the night while on vacation in Mexico. and it was Rethink Everything You Know About Social Media. And when I released it, I kept getting feedback of like, man, Rethink Everything is such a cool phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Like we should all be rethinking everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that turned into writing a second book, which is our green book, which is for the mortgage industry. And, you know, you do the second one and then somebody wants to do this and somebody wants to do that. And so we just put out our 7th book. We have 4 more books in production right now that will be out in the next 6 weeks.
Wow.
We have another 5 to 6 books that are already going to be coming out in the first half of 2026. And so now my goal is that I want to write 300 Rethink Everything books. And I say I write. I don't want to write. I want my company to produce. And it's just been so much fun partnering with experts and bringing collaborations of people together. And it's awesome. We've got a networking book coming out. You're a part of a book with a friend of ours that is going to be all about recruiting that's coming out before the end of the year. We've got an insurance book coming out. I'm talking to a girl right now that is a craft beer influencer.
Okay.
And so I think we're going to do a Rethink Everything You Know About Craft Beer.
I love it.
And educate people that love craft beer or want to love craft beer more. And oh my gosh, we're just having a blast.
That is so cool.
And we're just getting started.
I love it. Matt's thinking to rethink everything you know about what? Whiskey.
I'm thinking everything. Like you can literally keep this series going on
man.
for everything.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
there is thousands of book for dummies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, if we can put a more positive spin on a book by not telling you how dumb you are, and that's why you should
Exactly.
read this.
You don't have to be a dummy to look at things in a different lens.
That's right.
Look at it in a different light. And, you know, as we're always trying to improve, there's nothing wrong with looking back on what you've done and just expanding on that success, rethinking. I love that slogan. That's amazing.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's great.
We're having fun. We're excited about it.
Well, and the energy you have is absolutely amazing. So, okay, you're going to be at NAM National. So if you're listening to us and you're not registered for NAM National, get registered. Go to NAM.org. You can find the NAM National. The dates are the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's at Caesars. Are you speaking on Saturday, Kyle?
I think I am on Saturday. Okay. Yes.
I think so.
I'll be there the whole time. So
okay,
I know that while I'm there, I will be speaking.
Okay. At some point in time. So,
at some point.
So make sure and look for Kyle. Hey, and you know what? Kyle would probably be someone good to shoot a video with, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
So tap out Kyle and say, hey man, let's shoot a video. And thank you for all you do. So if people want to connect with you, Kyle, how can they do that?
I am Coach Kyle Draper all over social media, kyledraper.com. Pretty simple. So
perfect. I love it.
If you want more, there I am.
Well, this has been an absolutely amazing episode. Matt, I'm sure you're thinking of all kinds of things that Kyle can help out with the young professionals, right?
There is so much that we could use your help on, Kyle.
Come on, bro.
I'd love to have you on one of our calls one day for the young professionals. Just talking about what
you ask, my answer is yes.
Oh, thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Hey, and if you're looking for someone to speak at an event, I know Kyle is absolutely amazing on stage, and I see you out there doing so much. So I'm so proud of you and all you've done.
Thank you so
I've enjoyed
much.
watching your journey, and I look forward to seeing you in Vegas. So
yes.
So thanks for tuning in. Another episode of the NAM podcast, and we'll see you on our next episode. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to the NAM podcast, brought to you by the National Association of Mortgage Brokers. For more episodes, resources, and guest interviews, visit nampodcast.com. Don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you soon.